Well, hello everybody and welcome back to another new vlog, once again from the Malvern Hills. Apologies for the wind noise that you can hear right now. I can't do anything about that. You'll have to have a bit of word with the big lady who looks after it all. Yeah, Mother Nature. I'm heading over to Millennium Hill, which is just ahead of me just here, and then to the Giant's Cave and possibly down as far as Gullet Quarry, but I'm not totally sure, so I'll have to see how I get on. And think about timing and whatever. So I'm going to make my way then now, and on the way I'll be taking a few photos. But look at the beautiful weather we got today. Some low cloud, sunshine, it's beautiful, apart from the wind that is obviously. But I'll move on and see if I can find my first composition of the day. Okay, so that's the Giant's Cave behind me, and by the looks of things I don't think it's very big, so I don't think the giant that was banished there was particularly big himself, and I think that the Roman warriors that lived in these areas and patrolled these areas were quite small themselves, because if they felt that that was big enough for a giant to live in, then obviously they felt that the giant himself was quite a big person. But that's a very, very small cave for what should really be a giant. I'm going to try and take a photo here. I may even try and take a selfie here, to be quite honest with you. I don't normally do that, but this is quite interesting. But at the moment it's a little bit difficult to set up a tripod, partly because I'm right on a path just here, and setting up a tripod might mean getting in the way of other people. But also there's a terrible breeze here as well, which is making it difficult for anything to stand up properly, and if I leave a tripod on its own to try and take a photo while I'm taking a selfie, then I could end up losing my camera. So I'll give it a go and see what happens. So I've just been over to the Giant's Cave, stood there a little while, and then obviously it was surrounded by people, so I decided to make a move. But before I went to the Giant's Cave, I was stood just about here somewhere, and in the distance you can see some of the hills. You've got Black Hill, Jubilee Hill, Pinnacle Hill, and then in the far distance you've got Worcestershire Beacon, and then just over here this is Herefordshire Beacon along here. And that's where I started my walk and where I've walked down from. But I've made a decision. I'm going to take a slightly different route to what I thought I was going to do. Initially I thought I was going to go to the the Giant's Cave and then down to Gullet Quarry, but I don't think I'm going to go to Gullet Quarry. I think instead I'm going to head back this way towards the British Camp Reservoir. Never actually been down there yet, but the last time I was here at the top of Herefordshire Beacon, I took a photo of the reservoir from above, and it looked very, very empty at that time of year. We'd had a very, very dry, warm summer last year, but recently we've had a bit of rain and it still looks very, very empty, so I don't know why that is. But I'm going to go down there and see if I can take a few photos down there, and then go and see if I can find somewhere for lunch. So I've kind of got in the lead of the hills now, and I'm walking down a path at the side of Herefordshire Beacon that heads down towards, hopefully, the British Camp Reservoir, which I quite like the look of from above, but I want to see what it looks like from ground level. But hopefully this path leads me to it. It looks as though it does. I can see it in the distance as I'm looking over the edge of the path here. But I don't know whether this path will take me right to the reservoir. I hope so. I'm not all that far away from it now. Beautiful view of it just over here, just coming into view. So I'll head down there and see if I can get a photo down there. I am still on the same path. It started to rise up a little bit again, and I thought this isn't very good, and I seem to skirt right around the edge of the British Camp Reservoir without getting too close to it. So I don't know if it's possible to even get close enough to get a decent photo of it from ground level. However, this path has recently started to drop down a little bit, and we're not all that far away from the reservoir. It's perfectly feasible that we could still find another path here that leads down to the reservoir, but so far I haven't found anything. I'll keep plodding along anyway and see what I can find. Well, that was a lot of fun. Not. I did actually miss out the reservoir. I think there must be a path to it somewhere, but at the time I just couldn't find it. But that's okay, because it does give me an excuse to come back here again at some point in the future and try and find that path down to the reservoir. Hopefully next time it'll be full. But I've just walked up over Black Hill. I've had some lunch, I've walked up over Black Hill, and now I'm heading just up in that direction towards the summit of what I think is Pinnacle Hill, and then behind that you've got Jubilee Hill, and then Perseverance Hill forms part of the ridge line between that and the Worcestershire Beacon. So I think I'm going to try and head to Perseverance Hill. I've got the time to do it, and then drop back down to head off home after that, but we'll see how far I get. So that behind me was Pinnacle Hill, and the breeze up there was immense. Coming down from there was rather difficult because it was very steep and the breeze was very strong, and I didn't know whether I was going to be able to keep my footing or not. But then that road behind me, that there is Jubilee Hill, and that's where I'm headed now. And again, the climb up there looks quite tough, but it doesn't look all that far, so I think I'm going to give it a go anyway and see how far I can get, knowing that once I get to the top of there I can drop down to Perseverance Hill on the other side. So I'm going to move on. I haven't taken any more photos because I just couldn't stop and actually capture any photos because of the wind. I think I got one more in this direction from the top of Pinnacle Hill, but I just couldn't set the tripod up at all. So I hope you like the images so far. So I'm afraid I cheated, folks. I skirted around the foot of Jubilee Hill because I didn't think my legs were going to be able to take it, purely and simply because of how steep it was going up. But I think now I'm on a path that's just below Perseverance Hill, and I didn't know this path existed, but considering how far I've walked, it must be exactly below Perseverance Hill. But behind me in the distance is Herefordshire Beacon, where I've been walking earlier today, and as I was walking along this path I realised I had to stop and tie my shoelace, my bootlace. So I stopped, tied my bootlace, and as I was getting back up I looked back over at Herefordshire Beacon, and the light on it was just perfect. You can see there's a lot of cloud in the sky, and for a while the sunlight had been hidden behind the cloud, but just as I looked up the light was just appearing just on the side of Herefordshire Beacon. And I set up the camera. By the time I was set up with the long lens at 300mm, I managed to get a decent shot of that with some light on the hill itself. So I hope that one's worked out all right, and I hope you like that image. I'm going to keep walking now. I don't know what time it is, but I think I'm going to keep walking and then just drop down from Perseverance Hill and go and find a nice pub to have a pint and a sandwich or something, and then head off home. Like I said, I have had lunch, but I'm still feeling a bit hungry now, so I think I need to go and find somewhere to rest up and have a pit stop. In the meantime, I'm going to see if I can find another couple of shots along the way. Okay, so it turns out I haven't got to Perseverance Hill yet, because it's that bugger behind me just there, and then behind that is Worcestershire Beacon that you can just see the tip of at the top there. So it looks like I'm going to have to go up this path here over Perseverance Hill and back down along the ridge before I can get anywhere near a pub. But I've just taken another handheld shot of this view here because I quite like it, but I've taken it as a portrait orientation, which is really nice. and I was focused somewhere on the front of Perseverance Hill just here, and hopefully then at F16 everything else will be in focus anyway. So I hope you like that image. I'm going to move on and see if I can get myself over Perseverance Hill now, and then we'll see where we are from then. So I guess I've worked out now why they call this place Perseverance Hill. I think if you've come all the way from Herefordshire Beacon in the south and managed to get this far, it has taken some effort and hard work and quite a bit of time to get here. That would explain why it's called Perseverance Hill, wouldn't it? Because that's exactly what you need to get here. Just behind me now, I don't know how well you can see ahead there, that is Worcestershire Beacon. I don't know whether I'm going to carry on and get all the way to the top of there. I might give it a try. In the meantime, I'm going to stop off and get a drink somewhere and then see how much time I've got left to see if I can get up the beacon, but there's no guarantees on that one. I don't think I'll make it. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's vlog. I've enjoyed walking along the Malvern Hills once again, and spotting a few new things that I hadn't spotted before. I haven't enjoyed this wind. But if you have enjoyed the vlog, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and also please remember to subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.